Hey everyone, today we're just having a chat with Jenny Oakley from Orange Oaks Hypnotherapy and Havening. So like I mentioned on all of these, this is just about just helping for people that are getting into hypnotherapy, about any tips that you have getting started. It's just a bit of a conversation. So Jenny, how did you get into hypnotherapy? What was your story?
I'd struggled with my weight for all my life. I'd been up and down, done many diets successfully, and then obviously found the weight again. There was always a feeling. I didn't know why it kept happening, and obviously it defined how I felt about myself. And even though other people say they never saw me as big, I felt they did, and I felt that I was defined by that. So I found Justine purely by accident, or not accident, nothing's an accident, by the universe putting her details in front of me. And I contacted her, and I went in for a free consult, and then decided to work and started straight away. And within the very first thing that resonated with me was when I said to Justine that it's not what goes in my mouth. My weight is not what goes in my mouth. And she said to me, no, it'll be a protection. And that was hugely powerful for just knowing that someone was hearing me. And because I instinctively knew or intuitively knew that was what it was. So we went on to work together, and I successfully did the weight loss program, the emotional release weight loss program with you, Justine. But about the second session, and she said to me, I think you should train. So I thought about it. I thought, I was a tour guide. And I thought, well, how can I do that? How can I help people? Anyway, I did go on and do the training, and did the first training, and then I went on and did the advanced almost straight away. It was important to me to do the advanced straight away because the work I knew I wanted to do was with people, the reasons why. And I don't think you can do that unless you can use the techniques that we learned in the advanced. And other techniques, obviously, I've picked up along the way since then. But I didn't want to work with people's emotions, people's makeup, for want of a better word, until I had done the advanced training, because I wanted to feel that I had the tools to do that. And also wanted to prove to myself that, I was capable of doing that. And so I did that. And then within what I did to get going with clients, I just seemed to put on my own Facebook page. I've got a lot of Facebook friends or acquaintances, whatever you want to call them. And I just sent out an bulk message saying that this is what I was doing now. If anybody was interested in weight loss, I would do it for half price for the first so many people. I never worked for nothing. Yep. I never worked for nothing. I don't think I did. I may have done, I can't remember now, it's a while ago now, but I may have done some in between the first training and the advanced training, but I don't even know if I did, to be honest. I can't remember. But from that moment, I just said half price. And once I'd done maybe half a dozen or 10 people, I put it up to full price and haven't looked back. And so from then, word of mouth, I've got clients through word of mouth. And then I had a little ad running on Facebook, and now I've got a new person doing the media stuff for me, like Google Ads and Facebook, which is actually kicking off today, to be honest. So yeah, it just grew, but I basically went from the second training to becoming full time, and that can be anything from 5 clients a week. I've had up to 15 a week at one stage. So it's around believing in yourself and having that belief. Part of the reasons I have the certificates up behind me, initially it was because, not for anyone else watching thinking, gee, look what she's done, or she's showing off. It was around me knowing that I'd done the work I needed to do to work with the people. So, yeah, and I love it. I love doing hypnotherapy. I love helping people get to wherever they need to go or want to go. Some people don't always get to where they want to go. They might get to where they need to go at this time. It doesn't work for everybody. And also understand that, you may not be the person to work with someone, so they may need someone else. That's why I like to do if I can, a Zoom call with prospective clients because I mainly work on Zoom. I do have one day in town that I work with people, but I do all my clients on Zoom. And I like to have a Zoom call before we arrange our first session, because that way they can see if they like me. They might not like the colour orange, so then they should out of luck, because obviously I like orange. I might remind them of their great aunt that used to pinch them when they gave them a cuddle or something, you know, whatever. So I think it's important to have that Zoom call, but otherwise just have a phone call. I don't ever set up a session without having a conversation with someone. And generally, mostly, I'd say 95% of the time, you get that Zoom call or that phone call that converts to a client.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's really important, I think, to have that rapport started before.
Yeah. And you've been quite, I know, with even the clinic space and stuff, because you are living out in the country and it's not a place where you can have clients at home, but you've been quite clever in finding places to work when you needed. Yeah. So you just did whatever you needed to do. Can you talk a bit about that?
Oh, yeah. So that's true. So when I first started and I put that message out saying, you know, about working with people for half price, and I did have some friends from away. I knew in my mind the people that might want to work on weight loss, and they did come out because they trusted me and knew me from our friendships. You know, they reached out. So there were a few from around the country that did that. However, the local ones, I went to their homes to start with. When it suited them, I'd go in, and that worked really well until I had a client that didn't want it to be at home and wanted to come to my own home. And I thought, no, I don't want to be doing that. I mean, I live in the country. I didn't want people to have to come out here, but also I didn't want them coming into my space. And I thought it's quite good to have a neutral space as well. So anyway, I actually found a local place in town to work from, and it worked really well. I would just get a room for and pay a certain amount of money for that time, and it was good.
Yeah. And so I'm just gonna mention what that place was, not the name of the place, but it was actually a hotel you approached.
Yeah. Well, I had
I think is awesome.
Yeah, I had a previous relationship with that hotel as a tour guide. I'd stayed there with American clients on tours, and so I had a previous relationship. So I could just rock up and say, hey, I need a space. I don't need it for long. Is there any way I can just use the conference room? So I did that. They said, yeah, that's fine. And so I would just rock up. I'd let them know in advance. I'd rock up, pay my money for each session. And it worked really well. And then, of course, I went into the clinic with you, using one of your rooms for as long as you had that clinic. And then once you had to give that up, or you chose to give it up, I went back to the hotel and said, hey, I need a space again. And that's just what I'll do from now on, I think. Because most of the work is online. It's not worth me, unless I had somewhere I could pay for one day a week. But even then, there's some weeks where I have no one. There's some weeks when I might have 4 in a day. Yeah. So it just works really well. And they just, I get whatever room they've got. And all I need is 2 or 3 chairs and a space. It doesn't, and fortunately it's a nice space. So I encourage you to be resourceful. Yeah, just put your thinking cap on. Because I was actually driving to town one day. This is funny, but I was driving to town, and once you get into this, you start sort of, or even a lot of people before this start realising that the universe delivers, and you just put it out there. And driving to town, I'm saying, I asked my guide, I need somewhere to work in town. I need somewhere to work. And I was driving along, and I thought, there's a lot of businesses that have closed now, but that aren't getting many clients because of COVID. There's not many tourists around. Maybe there's a motel. Oh my God. And then the hotel came to mind of it. Yeah, and it worked. So
yeah. And the other thing with Jenny, like me, we both really, 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 our thing is the trauma. Our thing is the working with people. And there's people out there that really, really, so everybody has trauma. There's so many people out there that need to be helped. And I was just having a conversation with Jenny earlier about how good it is to be able to help people, With what we do, it's just...
Yeah. Well, I know the word that I said when I was working with Justine quite early on was I felt free. And that is, even today, you know, that is, I feel free of the stuff, the reasons that I felt the way I did. And, you know, I love it when my clients say they feel free, because I go, yes, you know, I know when they feel free, that because it's the freedom of the weight, and it's not the weight you're carrying, it's the weight of what you're carrying, you know, not the weight that's on your body, but the weight of, and it may not even be your stuff, it may be someone else's stuff.
A lot of the time it's someone else's.
A whole nother story, you know, that's a whole nother rabbit hole we could go down. But that's my joy, is to, yeah, I love seeing people lose weight. If I'm working with weight loss, that's fantastic. But actually, for some people that becomes second, because they don't realise that it's the emotional stuff they're carrying that actually is making them feel heavy. Once they're released of that, then they don't feel heavy, they feel lighter and free, and the weight can start moving on. But it doesn't work for everybody. Hey, look, you know, it doesn't work for everybody. I've got clients that haven't had success, you know, I mean, it's just the way it is.
Yeah, and even if I know with their clients, say if they don't shift the weight that they want to shift, the work that we do in those sessions is so valuable, clearing trauma, emotions, teaching them about the nervous system, giving them those sessions. We're setting them up so that when the time is right, those shifts will be made. But it's such a, for people getting out there and just doing it, because we offer, like, the amount of people there are that need help, and we can actually offer something that, we're offering stuff that actually works, that really helps people,
Yeah, and, you know, there are people that aren't ready. So that's one thing I will say is, you know, I used to think, oh, you know, do you want this? How much do you want this? But they've got to be ready. So there's a difference between wanting something and being ready. So you might want to give up smoking, you might want to give up chocolate, you might want to, but actually, if you're not ready, it's not going to work. You have to be ready. Yeah. And there's a big difference.
And you suss that out in the conversation you have prior.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I have a questionnaire that I ask, and I say, well, you know, and you can actually, you get really good at knowing just by their answers and their behaviour, like whether they are ready or, and you do, I think, don't you think?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you get a feel for it. And so when you did start out and you just went for it, because you went straight into it and got it going and went for it. What tips do you give for people about just going and doing it? Because for a lot of people, they want to, but, you know, having that extra, like, what was it for you that really sealed the deal to get you to go out and just do it?
It's a hard one to answer that, because I think I had help, not from God. I don't believe in God, but I think I had help that, and I do believe that I was meant to do this.
Yeah.
And so it actually wasn't difficult. Like, I just believed, and I think what it is, it's just come to me now. I've done a lot of things in my life, and I've done them well, a lot of them well. But I think with this, because of the work I've done with you, I knew that I had self-belief that I'd never had before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I trusted that belief, I think. And I also had another job. My job had gone because of COVID. You know, I was a tour guide. There were no American tourists coming. And I needed to make a go of it. And I could see it as a way of being financially sound eventually. But having a service, you know, offering a service, offering a solution to people that are just struggling for so long.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Did that answer the question?
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you, Jenny. Thanks for chatting. And this is going up just for people that are starting out, to give some inspiration, especially for people that need that little bit extra to really, you know, watch people that are getting out there and doing it. And you were one of the ones that I know that went in and did the training and just went out and did it and got it going. And you're helping so many people. You know, one thing
I would like to add is some people do their website straight away. I didn't, and I know for some people they have to. That's what they need to do. But for me, it took a while actually, and I'm glad I waited. because my website that I did in the end would have been probably way different to what I would have done, because it takes a while to know what you want to work with. You know what? In fact, the other day I just went on and took off some of the 2 or 3 of the things I had listed, because I've got like half a dozen areas that I really want to work in. So 3 of them I'm really passionate about. And so, it's up to you, the individuals, what they do. But for me, it was around getting a sense of who you are and who you want to work with before putting it out there. And that was my personal experience.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. Well, thank you, Jenny. And
you're welcome.
Hi, bye to everyone that's watching this. And if you do want to catch up with Jenny and talk with her, is that fine if people want to communicate with her? I know Jenny's awesome at, like if you are starting out and you want someone to chat with, you can hook up with Jenny. So you can either find her on Facebook, and on the website is Orange Oaks Hypnotherapy and Havening. Awesome. Thank you.